It's Frank. Frank. Mr. Frank. And just what you did now, I think you're the best ever.
In your neighborhood, there's a place so good. It's so nice to be at a store meant for me. The feeling of family, you have to agree.
Wow, thanks, Fareway, Frank.
Welcome to Fareway, your Fareway family.
Oh, yes.
Mom, Dad's being weird again.
Luscious.
Honey,
So full.
it's just grass.
Oh, it's so much more than just grass. It's a healthier, greener, and more luscious lawn. Yours can be too.
So get you.
With 𝗀𝗃𝗃𝗃 Lawn Care.
Remember, no shoes on the lawn. Because you're so beautiful.
Call her.
20 years of Jonas, living the dream tour, performing Nick's solo and the administration, Joe and DNCE, and the Jonas Brothers. Get tickets now at 𝗺𝗲𝗱𝗃𝗃.com.
Spring has sprung in the great state of Iowa, and if you've been thinking about getting outdoors with your family during the best time of year, we want to help you here at Plaza RV. We are a locally owned RV dealer in Bondurant who cares about our customers before, during, and most importantly, after your purchase. Give us a chance. We will treat you like family. Buy local. Buy from Plaza RV.
Two guys, two Chris's, one network. Iowa everywhere. It's time for Two Guys with Chris Williams and Chris Hassel. Presented by Fareway Meat and Grocery from the Channel Seed Studios. Where? Everywhere. Live and always on demand at Iowa Everywhere.
Good morning and welcome to the program. It is Thursday, the 1st of May. Chris and Chris on Iowa Everywhere.
It's May Day. Have you done any May baskets? Did you ever do that?
No, but I've seen a bunch of like candy up on the table. It appears that they will be created after school today.
Really?
house.
They're still doing that in schools? They're still doing the May baskets?
Yeah, and then you chase the kids around and you tackle them and try and give them a kiss.
That's what Easter's for, baskets and candy. Let's leave that in April. I hate May Day.
You're anti-May Day, huh, Matt?
Wow.
I wasn't
Woke coming
expecting
in
that.
strong.
I figured Matt would come in and be like, every child deserves a May basket. A little
Participation trophy. For all my little wokesters.
Yeah, what's awkward about it is we had this happen like when Cameron was really young, where a bunch of her friends brought her May baskets, and then we didn't even know it was May Day. We didn't even know that was like a thing still. So she didn't have anything to re-gift.
I
then
wouldn't
you're in a pickle.
know either. I mean, I just for the hell of it, I looked it up because I remembered one time, there was like 1 year in elementary school where they had us like make a May basket. And I remember putting it on, I think I put it on like my grandparents' door or something. And that was it. Because they were old enough to remember a time, because they were born in like 1925, when people actually did this sort of thing and celebrated May Day. But it's done. It's over with. I think Van Winks is right.
Just kill it.
Yeah, too many holidays right now.
Turkey the cat is watching on
Easter.
YouTube and says Van Winks must have never received a May basket before to have that kind of attitude.
I've never received one. Have you?
It wasn't a thing when I was a kid. We never got these.
Oh, I got them all the time. I would have dozens of May baskets on May Day. Yeah. Maybe that says something about you guys. I don't know. Maybe it's time to look in the mirror. Maybe it's not always somebody else's problem, and you should consider.
Who wants to get a basket full of raisins and Smarties?
That's a rough basket. Well, now I'll take the Smarties, but is that
I love raisins.
like a sour apple flavored Tootsie Pop?
Ugh.
That
Tootsie Rolls suck.
And like
the
an
most
bomb
overrated
pop.
candy of all time are Tootsie Rolls.
See, I like Tootsie Rolls. Old school.
They can burn in hell.
No flash. That's the best part of the Tootsie Pop is when you bite into that Tootsie Roll.
No, it's the worst part. You get the sucker part, suck it off.
What did you just do with your hand? What was that?
What I just did was not even intentional.
Some kind of muscle memory when you're talking about sucking, I guess.
But you bite the, you bite the remainder of the candy part off, and then it's the Tootsie Roll, and then I always throw it out.
You don't eat the Tootsie Roll inside the Tootsie Pop?
No.
Then why even have a Tootsie Pop? Why not just have a regular sucker?
I would rather have a sucker.
Or as they call them down here, lollipops.
Welcome
you say
to the
sucker
show.
Down here. Ooh.
You can go to Fareway Meat and Grocery and find lots of stuff for your May basket.
Yeah, stick some skinless brats in your friend's May basket today.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Fareway Meat and Grocery, the presenter of Iowa Everywhere's Two Guys. Since day one, we appreciate them. Same with our friends at Channel Seed. We are in the Channel Seed studios, of course. A little soggy out there for the boys in the fields today. We have to take a day off. We'll see. But appreciate all of our Channel Seedsmen who are out there kicking ass and taking names this planting season. Boy, I tell you what, Iowa just keeps killing it in the recruiting trail. We'll talk about that. Tyrese Haliburton's dad picks a fight with Giannis. Matt has been doing some investigative reporting on why these kids are swinging parachutes around in PE class. We have a hell of a show. UFC coming to Des Moines for the first time this Saturday. Where do we start today? Chris,
Well,
I'll let you pick.
Matt does the little pre-show labeling on YouTube, and it's got people all fired up. The first thing he put was Caitlin Clark returns to Iowa City. And Ryan, I log in today, and Ryan already has a message on YouTube saying, we really going to talk about a WNBA exhibition? What has this show become? Legends and listeners?
It's a big deal, right? Isn't it a big deal?
It is a big
don't
deal.
know.
I think it's a big deal.
Friends
I
at the
mean,
Iowa
we
Lottery
don't need to
gave away
spend
some
much
tickets.
time on it.
There's no analysis.
I'm
to
sure
be
we'll
given,
talk
but
more
is
about
a
it on
big
Monday,
deal.
but sure, I mean, it's going to be sold out. Well, it already is sold out. It's going to be packed. But what is Caitlin worried it's going to be hot at Carver on Sunday? The high is like 65, and she's Van
I think
Wilk.
it's like
She's
78
talking
in
about how
Iowa
it
City.
doesn't have what?
Is that AI Caitlin Clark?
I looked at the weather. The weather on Sunday, the high is 62. And what did Caitlin Clark say?
She's worried about the heat in Carver Hawkeye Arena.
So it'll be fun to get back there, see some of my former teammates, my friends that are there. A lot of my family will be coming, so I know they're excited. I warned everybody, I'm like, there's not air conditioning in Carver Hawkeye, so usually they don't play basketball games in May, so hopefully it stays a little cool in there. I don't know what the humidity is looking like, but we'll see how it goes. It might be a little toasty.
Iowa in May.
Yeah, people at graduation when it's in Carver get a little hot, so, but it's fine. It'll be fun.
Hot in Carver.
It'll be fine. High of 62 degrees, low of 45 on Sunday. It'll be at game time. It'll be about 60. I think it'll be fine. I mean, it will be packed. That's the one problem. There will be over 15,000 people there, but
will there be just
no
people
biggie.
like slipping on the floor with the humidity?
It's not going to be. It's not going to be that humid.
What's the?
Come on. What are we talking about? It's not
I
like
don't
it's
know.
South Florida.
Well, this is what we
in the
get for
summer.
trying to. There's no analysis needed on this. It'll be a great event. I'm glad that it's happening.
What's
it is a
the-
big event,
Right.
but there's nothing to say about it. Really.
What's the
You know?
AI story that's going to come out of Sunday?
Oh, there's going to
Caitlin
be
Clark saved
Yeah,
a
what-
baby from falling out of the stands.
What landfill near Carver Hawkeye is Caitlin Clark going to find a baby with a cleft palate that has been just completely tossed away into the garbage can of life? And she's going to decide to pick up this baby.
Did you see the other
And-
night that Kate Martin adopted a kid too?
I did, yes. Kate Martin also
Yeah.
found a baby at a landfill. That's a very popular thing for these WNBA players to do, apparently, on Facebook, is find
like-
abandoned babies in landfills.
4 members of that former Iowa women's basketball team have now adopted orphans.
Yeah, what's Gabby Marshall doing? Has she found a baby yet? I haven't seen anything about her on the AI.
Meanwhile,
on the AI bots.
Angel Reese is the devil.
All right, there's our Caitlin Clark talk.
Thank you. No, it'll be a great event. It is a cool weekend in our state with that.
Quite a bit going on.
The UFC thing's a big deal at Wells Fargo Arena. It's a big card. The crowd is sold really well, and then WWE is in town on Friday night. So like there is a lot going on for a weekend in May in the state of Iowa. So that'll be really cool. I'm going to this UFC fight with 𝗙cie𝗰𝗶𝗹. It's a little dangerous, don't you think?
I was just thinking the other day, you and 𝗙cie𝗰𝗃 have to be two of the most opposite people. Like the guy, and I'm more on 𝗙cie𝗰𝗃's side with a lot of that stuff. Like he doesn't believe in ghosts and UFOs and all that. And you believe, he's not religious at all. You claim to be, but yet you come together.
I'm feeling my religion thing out. I fully admit that I'm a 40-year-old man who's kind of up in the air about things. I think that that's a healthy thing to admit. I'm looking into it. Is that okay?
I just like that you have some overlap here with UFC. You both love.
Yeah, we love the UFC. We both
UFC.
love
it. Why is Jeremy Stevens not the headliner here?
Because he's like making his return to UFC. He's been out for
well
about
past
3
his
years.
prime. Like he's.
You know what he was doing before this, right?
He was in the McGregor thing, right?
Bare knuckle boxing.
Yeah. So, Jeremy, I was actually looking into this last night. It's like he's in his fight. He's like plus 425. He's a massive underdog.
Oh, really?
He's the biggest underdog on the entire card on Saturday night.
Okay.
But he is the lead off of the main fights of the main card. So that'll be a great way to get it started.
Yeah, he's getting up there in age. Yeah, 𝗙cie𝗰𝗃. Almost called him 𝗙cie𝗰𝗃. 𝗙𝗃 came on All Access and kind of broke down this fight and talked about, Stevens' kind of rise and fall, and he, left the UFC. Basically, people left him for dead in the sport, and he won that bare knuckle boxing fight a few months ago, and the UFC noticed, and they said, "Come back.
He's a dog. We're
coming to Des Moines."
My favorite Jeremy Stevens moment was the one McGregor press conference when this is when McGregor was like really hot.
Yeah, isn't he the who the fook is that guy?
Yeah. And Stevens says like, I don't know what he said, but he's like, "I'll whoop your ass." And then Connor goes, "Who the fook is that guy?"
That's a famous.
That's our guy.
That's a famous GIF or meme.
Well, it went viral after he won this last bare knuckle boxing fight because McGregor gets in the ring and said, "I want to fight this guy."
Yeah,
McGregor said that
we were going to get that. Yeah,
so it still might
Maybe
happen.
we still will.
Know. We'll see. We'll see what happens with this. If he wins this UFC fight, he could start his trajectory back in the sport. But we'll see.
He is a plus 425 underdog, which is massive in that game. But takes one shot, the crowd will be with him on Saturday night. Are you going to this F1 race right down the street from you?
No, I haven't heard a lick about it either. Not a goddamn lick. I know at one point you were considering coming down here for this.
Well, I was. If I could get us like garage passes and stuff, and I didn't. I wasn't able to do that.
What is that?
I was gonna take. We were rounding second base to be in the Miami Dolphins like suite for this race, and we got thrown out at third.
Oh, really? Okay.
Little Sage Rosenfeld's connection.
Yeah, that's the only way I'm going to something like this.
Yeah, well, and once I couldn't do that, I'm like, I'm not going to pay
for free
$1,000 per day to go and watch this.
Is that what it is? $1,000 to watch this crap?
Well, don't you remember a couple years ago? It went like viral. I think we talked about it on this show. What they were charging for like a beer.
Yeah,
it's like $30.
And I hate the setup. They make it look interesting. When you see the color schemes and all that for this track, but they're literally just racing around the Hard Rock Stadium parking lot. That's all it is, which is nowhere near Miami, nowhere near the beach. They claim it is, but it's not.
What are you talking about? There's boats, right? I see the boats.
Yeah, they bring boats in on like the fake
beach.
sand.
Yeah, you got to see what the price is to sit on one of those things.
I mean, that's right off the interstate, like the interstate that's way in almost to the Everglades. This is not Miami. So I will not be going. I will not be watching. Sorry.
I'll be watching that. That'll be my...
That sport doesn't interest me because it's just way too predictable. There's not that many. There's only 20 drivers. There's only, 7 or 8 teams. And it's just the same fucking thing every week.
10 teams. The thing about F1 that you have to get into is like it's like a reality show. It's like there's drama, there's the personalities,
but
the
what's
politics,
the drama
the
when
money.
the same guy and the same teams are always winning?
It's basically the way I would put it, like, because there's so much money and like really important people involved in this sport. They're always stabbing each other in the back. It's to me the most interesting part about F1. It's kind of like how the NBA's off season is more interesting than the season itself. Like, what are these guys gonna like? That's how F1 is to me. And there's an engineering aspect, which I can't imagine you give a shit about. Like, you've got the world's best engineers that are trying to build these, the greatest technological cars in the world.
The same guy always has the best car every week. And it goes like that. It goes for like 7 straight years. It'll be the same guy in the same car from the same team winning every race.
You're a little off there, but
no, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
I'm really not, and you know I'm not, and you're just upset that I'm calling that sport out
upset.
for what it is.
Not upset. We had that 7-year run with Lewis Hamilton and Mercedes,
and now it's the guy from Red Bull.
But he's not even like the guy this year. Like he the entire second half of last year, he was like a distant third to the McLaren guys. He just happened to have enough points to win. So whatever.
What is it?
I can't imagine.
Dude, we're really in it now because we just started with fucking Caitlin Clark exhibition game for the WNBA and a goddamn F1 race.
Like a F1 debate.
Oh, get us to football season, please.
What about okay, we can do the parachutes. Iowa. No, it's for real. Let's local sports.
Let's talk something with substance here.
Iowa beat out Lindenwood, Drake, Missouri State, and Tulsa for a prospect yesterday. That's a great get. Sage Tate, or Tate Sage, 6'7" guard out of Oklahoma. I heard Lindenwood's NIL offering was like really impressive too. So this was a big time snag.
You really love shitting all over these guys. This was a Drake commit.
Nice.
And we got another Drake kid. What did you call him? Sage Taint?
I called him Sage Tate. His name is Tate Sage. I apologize. I did mess that up.
Look, this is all like white noise to me now. Like I don't know this guy, but if Ben McCollum wants him, sure, why not?
You know what I did last night? Real talk. I'm not joking anymore. I put their roster down on a little piece of paper and I was looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
I do see what he's doing here and how this could be a very competitive team. I don't
competitive. This team's going to be good.
It might be.
You're not. You don't think this is a tournament team?
No, I didn't say that. I think they could absolutely be a tournament team. I'm looking at how are they going to be a tournament team, is what I'm trying to decipher. Because I think we can all agree when you look at them, their weaknesses will be anything to do with athleticism, right? So defense and rebounding. I feel like if you're going to draw up like the weaknesses of this roster, but they've got, so you have Stertz, everything goes through him, everything goes around him. We all know this. You have a skilled 5-man in 𝗙ģeris.
𝗙ģeris, I believe.
𝗙ģeris.
It's 3 syllables.
𝗙ģeris. And then they've got a couple of 4s who, I think can provide some defensive mismatches and like that are big dudes. And then basically what he's doing is he's just putting as many shooters around all of these guys as possible. So I think, without knowing Ben's plan, but I'm guessing, at least for this year, based on what this roster looks like, and I think they're going to have a difficult time stopping teams because of just their makeup. And this happens, like we always compare 𝗙𝗪𝗪's first year. Well, they couldn't score, right? And I think this is going to be the opposite. And I think that they will play slow and ugly, and that will allow them to keep games close, even if they're undermanned. And you hope that if you get like 3 of these guys, like this kid that just committed, who can be what you think, then you're going to be in a pretty decent spot to get to the NCAA tournament. But the one concern I have is just the 𝗀𝗏𝗏𝗏 thing. It's just like playing all those. It'll be really impressive if he can play the amount that he did in the Big Ten.
Look, this all goes out the window if 𝗀𝗏𝗏𝗏 gets hurt or something like that.
Yeah, like he is the obvious glue to all of this.
I don't think it's going to be ugly. I think that we've seen what McCollum and his offense does. It's crisp, precision, passing. He ran into, or Chad Leistikow ran into him yesterday or the day before, and had an article at Hawk Central. And McCollum told him, he's like, I don't even think of positions other than point guard.
Yeah, you can see
you
that.
Have your point guard.
Yep.
And I don't care about positions. I will put the best 5 players on the court. That's all I care about. I don't care if everybody's 6'3" or everybody's 6'10". And he said that this kid they're bringing in, a really good passer. And that was the thing that stood out to me about watching that Drake team in the tournament, was how they would just whirl that ball around like a 50s college team. Just the passing, you just really don't see that. The ball doesn't stick.
It's like watching Hoosiers.
Yeah. And I'm trusting everything McCollum does at this point. So
I think you should. I also think we can sit here and look at the roster that has been compiled and say, how are they going to do it? Because Ben
you could have said the same thing about the roster at Drake last year too. Like, how are they going to do it? These are all D2 kids. What are they going to do when they're playing in the Valley every game? What are they going to do if they run up against a power conference team? And we saw what they did.
My point is with the 𝗀𝗏𝗏𝗏 thing that I just think is interesting. It will be, and I asked him about this when I interviewed him, and he's like, he's fine. He's ready to go. Like, Ben was very quick to answer it in that way. It's just the day-to-day grind of the Big Ten is just so much more.
Sure, there's no doubt about
that. That is the thing, and it's just like, can he withstand that? And they certainly think he can, and he hasn't done anything to show us that he can't. But like you said, man, like when I put it on paper, everything is going through him. There's really not another guy. He's gonna have to play 40.
Well, the legend of McCollum continues to grow. Did you see what happened earlier in the week at an iClub event?
No.
Well, someone posted on Facebook, 𝗀𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 on Facebook.
Is this a real Facebook, or is this one of those
real,
AI?
This is real, baby. It's not Facebook. I don't know where it came from, but a bunch of people posted it on X. Just thought I would share this, it reads. I attended the Carroll iClub outing last night in Western Iowa. Kirk Ferentz, Ben McCollum, Jan Jensen, a few others were there. Anyways, after it was all over, the coaches stayed for a while to talk to fans and sign autographs. They eventually all left because they had their flight back to Iowa City. Ben, however, was driving back to Des Moines, so he didn't leave with them. So instead of getting out of there, he stayed after the fact and helped a few of us put all the chairs and tables away. This sounds like one of those AI stories, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But it's real.
It's like these handicapped people can't load up the chairs, so Ben McCollum saved the day.
Over 500 people showed up to this, so a lot of tables and chairs. Didn't even ask. He just approached us and started helping. I just thought it was so nice of him to do that. We got a class act coach, and I'm so pumped to support him and the basketball team, LFG.
You're telling me Fred McCaffrey never did that?
Well, 𝗀𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 put it nicely in the comments. Our last guy was slamming chairs. This one's stacking them. Let's go. See, this is
well done,
this was the difference. This is the connection. This is the connection that was missing. Look, that's not going to win you any games, but man, it's gonna win you a lot of goodwill with these Midwestern salt of the earth people.
So true. They have to like you here. They just do.
Mm-hmm.
Because it does. Even if they like you, they're going to try and get you fired once they're done with you. But if they like you, you can buy yourself 2-3 more years usually.
You get the
problem
benefit of the doubt.
Yeah. And that's why, like, in our state, coaches tend to just be here forever because of that. Because we're the type of people who we're just nice. Unlike these assholes out in Nebraska, my God, I'm still catching strays from these people for the Matt Rule take.
What?
A couple weeks ago. Oh, my God, these Nebraska fans.
What are they, in the comments of the
I didn't even think I was
that,
like, yeah. God, they're sensitive.
Well,
because the YouTube shorts, the algorithm will just
remind
push
us
it
what
out
you said
to,
again.
I don't know. It was just basically like, hey, why don't we worry about being Iowa and Wisconsin before we start shooting for
because
Ohio
he was
State?
like,
it was a very measured.
We're competing with Ohio State and Michigan. We can't be worried about. So yeah, you said, and I think that was a pretty good take. Look, you got to get to the level of Iowa and Wisconsin and Minnesota before you can start looking at and comparing yourself to Ohio State.
And I've also said on the record dozens of times that I thought Rule was a better hire than they probably have ever done because of the substance. I think he's going to win there. I don't know how big, but I think he's going to do a good job for them. But I was, and these people I've done some work with it. I'm having to declutter my digital life because of.
What are you doing hanging out in the comments of?
I'm not hanging
posts.
out. They come to my email every time there's one. So I had to
What?
It's now not.
Anytime
happening.
someone responds to a post of yours, it comes to your email?
It was there for
oh my
a while.
God.
No, not a post.
No wonder why you have mental health issues.
It was the Iowa Everywhere YouTube page was connected through it. And I don't even read them all, but I would go to my promotions tab in Gmail and it would be 56 replies. And it's just all these angry Nebraska fans.
Yeah, you can't look at that stuff.
No, I don't. I didn't but I did think it was funny because again, their algorithm, it says Matt Rule in the headline.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just being served all these Nebraska fans.
Yeah, what does the headline say? Matt Rule doesn't know his head from his ass or something like that.
That's exactly the headline. Yeah.
And then some people will comment without even listening. I 100% agreed with your take on that.
I didn't even think it was a hot take. I wasn't trying to be
it. Honestly, it really wasn't. But
that's what the headline was.
What was the headline?
Nebraska coach out of touch.
Nebraska coach out of touch. Yeah,
Cade Murphy special.
That's fair. Yeah, I think, yes, they're out of touch. But all these Nebraska people are out of touch. They lost touch 25 years ago.
I like Rule. I not necessarily as a guy, but as a coach. I think he's a really good coach. But man, you gotta walk before you can run is the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to. Even when you can go out and buy players now, like you're seeing with the McCollum thing right now, like you saw with 𝗙𝗪𝗏. You can't unless you have the budget of Ohio State or of whoever, you can't just buy a team in year one. There still has to be some development, right?
Yes.
There just has to.
You're not going to go 0 to 60 right away. We've seen how difficult this can be for Nebraska.
What's great is that you can take a 0-19 team and get to the tournament like 𝗙𝗪𝗏 did, or you can take a team that didn't get to the tournament and get to the Sweet 16 or whatever. You can do these things now, but you're still never going to be at your peak, and Rule just hasn't been there long enough to build that up. I'd like to see him now with Raiola having a year, but God, we don't have to be so sensitive.
Please disconnect that, whatever it is.
I already
serving
did.
You that you. The only person I know that reads every single response to every one of his posts is Keith Murphy. And I don't know how or why he does it.
So nice.
His Facebook is the biggest comment cesspool of any page that I'm aware of, like any normal page.
I had to tell my wife to quit reading it.
She was reading Keith Murphy's Facebook page?
Yeah, and she loves Keith. You know, and
so she was probably getting...
Oh, what are they being so mean to?
Did you see he did a whole Murphy's Law about why it's not that way?
Why? What's not that way?
Defended it. Well, AD called him out, on the show, saying, your Facebook's the worst place. And then
it is the worst place on the face.
Oh, it's not that bad.
Who said it's not that bad?
Murph did.
It's bad. It's really bad. Like it's worse than you would find on TikTok or even X. It is. These people, a lot of them are really old, so they're stuck in their ways. They're one way or the other. And so and everything becomes political on that thing. Everything.
That's what bothers them about the full disclosure or just complete honest on the we joke about these AI things. The problem is, I sent you the one the other day, and I was kind of joking, kind of not. I said we should read the comments to this. It was one of those Angel Reese, Caitlin. It's so racist what they are, and the problem is, here's the issue: is the people who aren't in on it, which is like 90% of these people, I would say, it just pours water on these like gross seeds, like these freaking bots are making Caitlyn look like she's a part of it and stuff, right? And like it's messed up.
Hey, listen to this. Hang on.
My friend Andrew Downs jokingly calls my Facebook page comment section the worst place on the internet, but it's not.
What?
Why
would he say it's not?
Most of us notice the cruel more than the compassionate. As 21st century philosopher Fred Hoiberg once said, you can get 100 compliments and 1 criticism, and the negative stays with you. Hoiberg also said social media would be the end of us all. It feels that way at times, but that's the frequency illusion.
I'm not with Keith on this. I mean, I'm sure there are times when there are good things that happen on that page. He shares a very heartwarming story. Maybe the story about Ben McCollum stacking chairs at his local food
Or about
pantry.
Kate Martin and the adopted baby from the landfill.
But for the most part, you dive into those comments for any post, and it's going to get ugly.
In Keith's defense, I feel like this is almost every Facebook comment section. Because I have like a...
Yeah, but who even has
fraction.
Facebook anymore? Like, I don't really do anything on Facebook.
I only do my professional page. I don't touch my personal one because of the very stuff we're talking about. That's just where angry people hang out.
I just can't believe that Keith goes through and reads all of it and responds to every...
It's because he's nicer than we are.
But how does he even have time in a day to do that?
I don't know, but he's better than we are.
Yeah, I know he's better than we are, but...
He is a considerably better human being.
I think he's wrong in this instance. That if he thinks that... Look...
What's the Seinfeld?
If the alternative was no one is allowed to comment on any post, then yes, fine. It's better to be able to comment. It's good. People can have some kind of discourse down there, whatever. But it's all the worst parts of society that are going back and forth in those things. And all they want to do, they get on there. A lot of them are retired. They've got nothing to do. So they're out there starting fights.
Are you talking about your dad? Talking about Tyrese Haliburton's dad?
I've told my dad specifically to stay out of stuff like that. Like, try not, like, do your little stupid stuff on X, whatever. But don't ever start anything with anybody. Don't ever get political. Because, I mean, yeah, I don't think old people understand. I don't think old people understand social media. I don't think they understand that everybody can see it. I think sometimes they think it's just them and somebody else talking, even though it's a fucking comment section of a post that gets 1 million views. I don't think they get it. And yes, I could see my dad doing what Tyrese Haliburton's dad did.
I texted you that the other night. I go, Don would do this.
Yeah, I mean, if I was an NBA player and I was voted the most overrated player in the league, and then I blew past Giannis and made the game-winning shot, and my dad's sitting courtside, yeah, I could see him coming out and getting in the face of another player. I could see that.
So I used to know John Haliburton really well. He did a podcast with me when Tyrese was being drafted, and it's one of my favorite pods I've ever done. This guy just has so much pride and love for his kid, like every dad does. But this guy is just, like Tyrese's contagious smile where you just can't help but kind of just like the guy. John is like that on steroids. When Tyrese got hurt his sophomore year at Iowa State, the team stunk. And John and his wife still went to every game, home and away, to support the rest of the team, Tyrese's teammates, even though he wasn't playing. They weren't in tournament contention, nothing like that. I love this dude. I thought Tyrese handled it really well. Like, he did. He was as positive as you could be about it. He just said, like, I don't condone it. And then John put up an apology thing. And, because
he's lucky. He's really lucky. I mean, somebody does that to the wrong person.
Oh, yeah.
And you are getting your ass knocked out.
God, think about, like, those old Pacer Knicks teams and, like...
Oh, yeah. Imagine if somebody did that to, like, Reggie Miller after he lost a playoff series.
The Pistons back in the day. Like,
oh, God.
Charles
Bill
Oakley.
Laimbeer. Oh, Dennis Rodman. I mean, this is... And at first, Giannis didn't know who it was. He said he thought it was just some random fan doing that.
It was the Malice at the Palace guy.
Who, Artest?
Yeah, but there was another one, too, from the...
What are you talking about?
There was Artest. Was it Jermaine O'Neal? It wasn't Jermaine O'Neal.
He was on... What about him?
Try doing that to that dude.
Yeah, I think try doing that to 90% of the players in the NBA, and they would have been able... Giannis could have punched that guy in the face, and he would have been not in trouble. He was on the court immediately when the game ended, taunting him. You can't do that. What are these? Why are they even able to get on the court like that? That should not have happened.
No. It shouldn't. It just knowing John, like, I was kind of like, not shocked. When it first happened, all these people started sending texts and stuff, and, like, I thought John, knowing him, like, approached Giannis to tell him how proud he was of him and how good of a player he is and stuff. I was like, oh, that was nice. No.
Yeah, I had to kind of eat crow because I posted, I'm like, protect John Haliburton at all costs. And then I saw the full video, and he's holding a towel in Giannis's face. And I'm like, oh, no.
Right when the game ended.
Instant
a second after the game ends, in heartbreaking fashion, he's in his face taunting him on the court.
Bloom made a good point to me that I wonder if that poll about Tyrese being the most underrated player in the NBA emotionally charged him a little bit. I don't know.
Of course it did. How could it not?
It's possible.
Ryder Boy says Draymond and Haliburton are probably the two most disliked players in the NBA. Is that? You think that's true?
I don't.
I didn't know Tyrese
definitely
was that
Draymond,
disliked.
but
I don't think Tyrese Haliburton is. I think players think he gets too much credit, but I mean, how can you really dislike him? I mean, even Giannis after the game said he loves Tyrese Haliburton.
I thought everybody involved in that on the player side of it did a great job. Giannis by having the composure.
Mm-hmm.
Tyrese with what he said after the game. It's hard to condone your dad publicly like that. And, like, he did it in a classy way where it was like, he's still my dad. I thought it was great. Want to give a shout out to our sponsor of the month here in May. It is RV season, baby. I'm going to pick mine up from storage tomorrow that I bought from Plaza RV about 2 years ago.
You put your RV in storage during the wintertime?
Yeah, this old gal up in northern Iowa, I put it in her shed. So it doesn't get, like, snowed and sleeted on and, like, keeps the
Interesting.
Yeah. And then me and Elise next Thursday after the show are heading south, baby. We're going NASCAR racing down at the Kansas Speedway. We're going to spend 4 nights at the track, me and my 5-year-old girl. It's going to be amazing.
Jesus, I mean,
we're going to go to a dirt race. I might take her to the Royals Red Sox game one day.
That's next weekend?
Yeah.
Mother's Day weekend?
Yeah.
What, you're leaving Mother's Day weekend?
My wife's excited about it. She gets away from me for a week.
Okay. I mean, if that's what she wants, sure.
We're going racing. No, but what you need to do is if you do have an RV, you got to get it serviced. And I want to remind you that you didn't have to buy your RV from Plaza. These guys are locally owned. You know them, Chris. They're the best. They're just good people. Locally owned, awesome people here in Bondurant. I bet you get a better deal than taking it to one of those big shops. So shout out to them, our sponsor of the month here on Iowa Everywhere. Also the 𝗀cie brothers. Lawns are looking thick. Lawns are looking beautiful across the great state of Iowa. We have the 𝗀cie brothers to thank. I had somebody in the comments say, what did the 𝗀cie sisters do?
Do you think that guy from the 𝗀cie brother commercial that runs before our show, do you think he goes outside and digs a little hole and just goes to town on that hole and just has sex with his own lawn?
Well, speaking of that, did you see Bloom's picture?
Yeah.
If he did, I hope it's not a fertilized part of the lawn where you have sex with it, because I feel like that could give you like some rash.
Yeah, you don't want that channel seed getting up inside your ween.
The chemicals on your the old dipstick.
Yeah, that might be worse than an STD.
So did Bloom really? I didn't see this.
Yeah.
He posted a picture of his wife out mowing.
Yep, his wife is outside mowing the lawn. Bloom said that he was up on the deck making cocktails, and his wife, Crystal, is out there mowing the lawn with his dog with a push mower while Bloom sits back
on
and
the Amish
sips.
glider. On the Amish glider.
Yeah, on the glider. I mean, it's peak Bloom, but I mean that's his life.
Do want to give them some love. They lost their little baby girl Zoe, their dog, last week. The Blooms
oh, gosh,
did.
That's too bad.
Yeah, 14 or 15 or 16.
Oh, so they had multiple dogs.
Yeah, they had 2. Okay. Yeah, so that's Frank right there.
That's
Frank's
tough.
been lonely. So
that's tough.
Yeah, Zoe was a sweetheart. Loved her. I used to watch her all the time. Great pup. All right. Last but certainly not least, the Iowa Event Center big announcement yesterday. Eric Church is coming to town. One of my all-time favorites. Problematic for me. Iowa State has a home football game that day. September
Iowa
the
does
20th.
too.
So
Iowa
I'm
does
praying for the 11 o'clock kick. Maybe even a 2:30.
Eric Church he's probably in Iowa that day because game day will be there for something, and he'll be able to pick the Hawkeyes again.
Some of it keeps ruining game day for Iowa State. Jeez.
Now, what's his big song?
Oh God, "Drink in My Hand" would probably be his most famous.
Springsteen. Drink in my hand.
Yeah.
Okay,
Williams,
yeah,
you've been going to see Church since he was playing like small clubs in Iowa.
Yeah, I saw him in Clear Lake, Iowa before he was. Yeah, when I was in college, he's been one of my favorites for a really long time.
Hey, so check this out.
I don't even think he had an album out when I saw him for the first time.
We got a contest going right now at iowaeverywhere.com. Win a pair of tickets to the show. We're going to be announcing our winners on the show next Thursday. So you got a week left to get in on the contest. We already had like 100 people enter. So
awesome. Big time.
Is he the one that
King
sings?
Band. I don't know them either.
She's the best I ever had.
That's Gary Allen.
Oh, Sam says Gary Allen is at a Davenport casino this summer.
Oh, you should come up for it.
Wow.
I'm just sitting around here watching airplanes.
Luke says no, that's George Gay.
New album coming out tomorrow for Eric Church.
I know. I've been counting down, baby. I'll be up at midnight when that thing. Would it be 11 or would it be midnight when it comes out?
11 Central.
Yes. That's actually attainable for me. Sweet. All right, Hassel, who are you going to go along with? We need to go along with our friends from Wealth Charter, Retirement Planning, and Tax. Taxes are done for most of you out there. You need to start planning already for 2026. Give our buddies over at Wealth Charter, Retirement Planning, and Tax. Keep them in the back of your mind for next year. What are you going long today?
Booty, 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 rocking everywhere. Booty, 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 rocking everywhere. I'm going
wait a
long.
minute. This is the guy that brought Deacon Hill to Iowa, right?
Yeah, brother. I'm going long on John Booty Boy Bootymeyer. Do you have any idea where I'm going?
No.
All right.
I'm interested to find out, though.
I think he may have earned the right to not be called Bootymeyer anymore.
Why?
Well, I mean, we've chastised this poor SOB.
It's just because of the volunteer quarterback
it's
guy.
Not just because of that. But it's not. I mean, there's a long list of things that we chastise this sumbitch for. Comes over in 2022 as an offensive analyst to help the quarterbacks. Petrus gets worse.
Well.
He brought in his Matrix-style offense. Petrus's numbers got worse. Then
Petrus
he brings.
you know that he's competing with Patrick
I
Mahomes
understand.
and the Kansas City
Yes.
Chiefs right now. Okay.
If Tim Lester had Petrus, it'd be a different story. Then, what does he do? He brings in Deacon Hill and Cade McNamara. Had previous relationships with both. Brings him in. He gets elevated to special assistant to the head coach. And this is a note that I haven't double-checked this, but according to Wikipedia, that year, McNamara was the 6th straight quarterback that Bootymeyer had mentored, had tutored, had coached, whose numbers fell off from the previous coaching regime. The 6th straight quarterback that Bootymeyer touched and somehow made worse. Okay? Then, inexplicably, this guy is elevated to wide receivers coach in 2024.
Mm-hmm.
And we killed Kirk Ferentz for this. Like, how has this guy, who's been nothing but bad at everything he's touched, how have they decided to elevate him to wide receivers coach? Well, it turns out, a year later, listening to people that attended the spring game, Chad 𝗀ście, Scott Docterman, legends and listeners, and others, the best unit on the field that day, the wide receivers. A unit that has been shit for eons is expected to be one of Iowa's best units this season. So I wanted to give John Budmeyer some love because nobody was giving him a chance. Like, why would this guy be able to turn around a wide? Nobody's been able to do. Why this guy who's shit with the quarterbacks is going to turn around this receivers room?
Real quick, and I haven't listened to legends and listeners yet. Who is playing quarterback right now?
Well, they had Hank Brown was the main.
Okay. That was my question.
He was taking the main one reps, but what's his face? Shaggy from last year was actually the one that.
Oh, yeah, I like him.
That looked the best. Now he was playing more against the 2s and 3s on defense, but I guess he looked really good. But it was the wide receivers that by all accounts stood out. Again, you listen to legends and listeners, and they are really bullish on this being the best wide receiver group that Iowa's had in well over 5 years, maybe even more than that.
Yeah, it doesn't take much to be better than the last 5. That's where I would where does,
right.
Yeah.
You go back to Brandon Smith and those guys.
Yeah.
What's his face? Your Smith Marset. That wasn't a bad room.
No, they didn't get him the ball in the right spots.
But I don't think they've had a really good wide receiver core since they had DJK and McNutt.
I think they've had decent receivers, not in the last 5 years, but prior to that, it's just they didn't use them well.
Right.
Their scheme was so bad.
They didn't put up numbers.
Yeah.
But
well, I mean, who's the kid that went to Purdue and is in the NFL now?
Oh, God, Charlie Jones. They didn't
Charlie
even
Jones.
use him as a receiver. He was only a kick returner.
Yeah.
And it sounded like, from listening to Legends and Listeners, 𝗀𝗃𝗏 was going to be the same damn story. He was going to leave if they weren't going to allow him to be a wide receiver.
Yeah, I mean, why would you?
He didn't. He was just a walk-on, and he was great as a kick returner last year. Well, they put him on scholarship, and they're letting him be a wide receiver as well. Thank God. So he decided to stay. But look, the bar is low. But to have this kind of talk about the wide receiver room,
it's refreshing.
Extremely. And this guy that we've just killed time and time again, don't even call him by his real name, put some respect on John Budmeyer's name.
I didn't think you would go along with him today. That's a pleasant surprise.
You know what? I'm fair. Look, if you do well,
yeah,
I don't care who you are. We'll come back around on you.
Absolutely.
We'll give you your flowers.
That's what we do.
Look,
it's what we do.
I'm not one for hyperbole, but with Ben McCollum leading the basketball program, you've got a potential Final Four team over there. And the expectations now with this football team, we might have a Final Four team and a playoff team in the same year, men's basketball and football. You guys talked all about last year, how it was going to be the greatest year in Iowa State history for all sports and all that, and you totally fell short of that, fell flat on your face. This is Iowa's turn to have the best season in sports.
I would encourage you to put your expectations with a Final Four and a playoff. That would be great.
Watching these highlights from the spring game for Iowa, I've only seen one catch by a receiver.
Oh, stop it. You weren't there.
It's been mostly punts and field goals.
You weren't there. There were.
Blake Hornstein's making me feel like I'm there right now. Oh, bad snap. Recovery.
Touchdown.
There you go.
Boom.
Okay.
Wide receiver.
That was Stratton.
I like Stratton. I think that he could be better than the situation he got thrown into last year was not good.
No, but he actually performed pretty well. There's
I actually like him.
I
like
do
the
too.
system he
they've
came
got
from.
a good.
I think he could.
They've got
be
a really.
okay.
I love Tim Lester. I hope that they can figure out a way to keep him.
I would absolutely. I mean, I don't know much about Hank Brown, but I just because of what Stratton's experienced, to me, he would be the clear number 2. But maybe I'm
he's
wrong.
not. But maybe he'll get there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right
I'm
now,
saying
he's not,
if the season is happening tomorrow, starter can't go.
Look at that catch! Woo!
I forgot
starter
how bad.
Can't go in week 2. To me, I don't know.
Forgot how bad Cade McNamara was last year. They were talking about that on Legends and Listeners in the spring game.
Oh my God! Yeah, we documented it on this show, and I think in a TikTok clip. But was it the spring game, or I think it might have been the fall scrimmage? Actually, Van Woke.
That sounds right. Yeah.
𝗙𝗪𝗃𝗃 charted him, and I want to say it was something like he was 7 for 20 for minus 16 yards and a pick 6. And somehow we thought that team had a chance.
Mm-hmm.
They've got the quarterback now. They've got the offensive coordinator now.
What do you think of the defense?
The wide receivers now. That's my crazy as it sounds. The defense is my biggest concern for this Iowa team this year.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
They were not that good last year. They weren't. I don't want to hear it. They weren't. Not to Iowa standards, not to anybody's standards. That defense took a big step back, and you lost the best players from that defense. You lost Castro. You lost Harris. You lost Higgins. I think that it's going to be even more of a flip here this year. I think the offense is going to be even better, and the defense is going to take another step back.
Air raid Iowa.
Honestly, I was scrolling TikTok the other day, and there's this Iowa super fan on there, and the caption was, air raid. Iowa offense is running the air raid. I'm not kidding.
We're not that lucky.
You might become an Iowa fan because you got your team over there
I think
running
my team's
4
gonna be
tight ends.
4 tight ends on the field, yeah.
Iowa State is becoming Iowa, and Iowa is becoming what you wished Iowa State was.
Yeah, we'll see. Game Day Men's Health presents Legends and Listeners every week. So if you are a Hawkeye football fan, we would encourage you to go and listen to their latest show. Aiden got up on the feed yesterday. Also, I'll be going by Game Day Men's Health to get my tee shot today, baby. Can't wait. Cannot wait. Had a guy from Indiana message us the other day that he was starting to go to Game Day Men's Health. Around 40, our age. Makes me feel better, and I hope it can help you guys too. Man, I need that extra tee right now, Matt, because we got the turtles, we got the mini turtles, we got soccer. I'm running kids to dance, choir,
and you got all
karate.
that fighting you're going to watch this weekend.
You got all the fights. I'm actually thinking about holding off and taking the tee shot on Friday because I want to be 24 hours into me. When I go to that UFC, I'm going to wear a really tight Affliction T-shirt and just be ready to fight somebody if I need to.
I'm having lunch with Williams today, so if you're getting that tee shot before, I might postpone this lunch. A little worried.
Also, remember our friends at Freedom Tire. Everybody's got to get their vehicle serviced. There's all these giant corporate shops that don't give a crap about you. Freedom Tire, locally owned. Quentin and his team have locations all over the metro and also up in Ames. Super easy. Everybody's got to do this. We're asking you to support our friends from Freedom Tire. Simple as that.
You know what I'm proud of?
What?
I'm proud of the fact that we haven't spent a single second on this guerrilla debate. And let's not get into it. I just want to say I'm proud of us.
Speaking of hot topics.
Wait, you acted like you didn't even know what I'm talking about.
I don't.
What?
You said,
oh my God.
You said don't say anything, so I was moving on.
Wait, so you really don't know what I'm talking about?
No, but you specifically said don't say anything, so I was going to move on.
I know that, but
I was going to ask
you might be the only person on earth that doesn't know about this debate. What do you think this debate is?
I thought you were going to bring up Belichick and his girlfriend.
No, but I'm glad we didn't talk about that either. This is incredible. Well, now I feel like we have to talk about it.
How about we just do this? Who would win 100 men versus a gorilla? Just say your answer, then we move on.
100
ready?
Yeah, it's 100 men.
No, it's a
100%. It's 100 men. Bottom line. This isn't an option. Like this is what pisses me off when I heard it, and I'm sorry I'm getting into it, but I heard the conversation on Murph and Andy yesterday.
No, it's easy.
And they're like, no, it would be the gorilla because the men would run away. That's not an option.
No, you
fight to the fucking death, okay?
And then you slash the
either the gorilla dies or all 100 men die. And it's either you or him, okay?
He's dying.
So the 100 men have to fight, and they will topple the gorilla, period. Williams, how have you not heard about this debate? It was all over last weekend. Last weekend was when it went nuts on social media, and then all week people have been talking about it. It's been everywhere. And you're somebody that's like digging into comments on social media. You're getting alerts.
Clearly you don't listen.
I'm not digging into anything. I
did listen to Murph and Andy. That's what I said. They're idiots.
I haven't listened.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't hear yesterday.
Well, that's okay. I mean,
you guys remember Harambe?
Harambe? Yeah.
You think he doesn't remember what happened?
He's
gorillas
dead.
No, the other gorillas, they don't remember what happened to their friend Harambe?
No, they don't. Gorillas are stupid.
They saw those humans kill him.
God damn it. I was so proud of us for not talking about this.
I
but
moved
William
on.
somehow,
I was moving on to the parachute.
Somehow had never heard of this debate. Okay, we're done. We have one more thing to get to,
Well,
right?
Matt did some investigating.
That's what I wanted to get to.
And was it Mr. 𝗀𝗏𝗄? Is that who
It
you
was.
talked to?
It was Mr. 𝗀𝗏𝗄.
Nice guy. He's PE. Shout out to all of our great educators out there raising our young people. He's an educator at Bonnarant Elementary, Morris Elementary School, and he's a listener of the show. And Van Winks took it upon himself to do some investigating on the parachute debate from Monday.
I'm walking up to pick my daughter up, and he said, "Hey, I heard you guys talking about the parachutes on the show." He made it a point for me to tell you guys the reason for why they do the parachutes.
Here's the reason. They are lazy. They want all the kids to do something, and they can just sit over there and not do anything, and they're all in one spot. You don't have to worry about them. They got to hold on to the parachute. They can't hit each other. Lazy.
Oh, so he gave me 2 points. He said teamwork, okay, because it takes everyone to make this parachute go
you
up
got
and down.
Because if not, like the air doesn't get stuck under it, and
And cooperation, listening to instructions, following what other people are doing, right?
Yeah, and how's that working out? How are kids these days?
Well, my daughter won Student of the Week this week, so apparently pretty well.
Good for her, but most kids are horrible people. We need less parachute, more actual games.
This
you
is a
know
game.
What our parents did in
what we need to do?
in gym class? They were like on the monkey bars. They were doing pull-ups. They were climbing ropes.
We need to get some of these UFC fighters to instruct the physical education.
Yes.
This looks like a picture from when Hassel was in school. I think that might be him in the red
windbreaker
coat back there, actually.
That kid's wearing.
That was always the worst day of gym class. And it was like they made us do it all the way through 5th grade.
We always
Once a year.
enjoyed it when the parachute
You enjoyed
was
it?
Yeah, it was fun. It was
Look at this
different.
girl. She's terrified.
Why
Oh my
would
God.
you enjoy this?
Because it was different. Do you remember when they would bring like the Marines in and you would do the rope thing from the top? Did you ever get to do that? And then they would recruit you after it?
That was middle school for me.
The rappelling. And then they would be like, have you thought about your future? No, I'm 5.
Yeah, the worst was this picture here when you had to fill it with air and then sit on it and sit inside of the. See, physical education. This is not physical education.
Yeah,
you
because
should be
there's multiple.
doing stuff. You
there's
should be
multiple,
sitting on your ass inside of a fucking parachute.
There's different games you can do within it. You can say,
they're-
okay, if you're holding the green, you got to run around the parachute.
No, that didn't happen with us. There was no running around. It was a sedentary action. All you did was move your.
The lights just went out in Florida.
Oh, you know what that is? That's a ghost telling me that he's going to strangle me in a parachute.
Yeah, you're talking shit
Gonna
about
suffocate
parachutes.
you.
There's my dad in the comments. In 1969, so he would have been 10, we were doing 50 push-ups and sit-ups. That's what it should be. Like, that's why we're such a fat country. It all starts in elementary school and gym class. You should be getting your sillies out. Get your sillies out and get some workout in.
Your boy, RFK, says it's because of all these dyes.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
That's why we're all fat.
I'm sure there's a lot that goes into that too. I mean, we do a lot of shit. Like you travel overseas, and
I've heard that
you eat that food, you drink that wine or whatever it is. You don't feel nearly as bad as you do here the next day. We've got a lot of problems with our food and the way we raise our farm animals.
You think Jeremy Stevens was doing the parachute?
Yeah, he's a good Iowa kid. Absolutely, he was. He did the
He
parachute.
He probably was forced to, yeah, and then he broke away. When did you have to start running the mile?
5th grade?
Yeah, 5th grade sounds about right.
It was 6th grade for us. And it was so fun. There were people every year.
Dread that.
It was the same people. They would walk. They would walk the mile.
When I was in elementary school, we had the walkathon. Did you guys ever have that where you like fundraise? You're like every
we run in
quarter
Iowa.
mile, you get a donation from somebody. Or
we don't
whatever.
walk like you do in California, Matt.
I'll give you a quarter for every mile you run.
You said walk.
Well, you could walk or run.
Oh. No, I don't remember doing that.
No,
if
we
you
never
ran,
did
you could
that.
get more.
We were too busy farming. You know, growing all the food so you Californians can eat.
Yeah. Think about how much produce is grown in California. Pretty much all your fruit.
Well played. I just love it. Some of the things that Hassel will just go out on a limb and just hate is the best. The parachute.
What? I promise you that most people our age, men our age, hated the parachute. They wanted to play real games.
Yeah, and the problem with these gym classes, if you think back to it, it would be better if they could get it with people of your own skill level, as opposed to just the random people in your class, because you would get the kids that were really out of shape, and then you're trying to have them play like soccer against the star quarterback, and it just didn't work for anybody because that kid is like just running in circles. No, you need to get all the bigger kids in one class, and then all the medium kids in one class, and then the elite athletes in another class.
You're going to segregate the kids again? Williams wants to take this back to the 50s and 60s.
I'm just saying, I think they get more out of it. Like, because there's certain kids where like a brisk
but all
walk would
all
do
the
a good.
fat kids would just sit on their ass and not do anything.
No, it's like the Biggest Loser. We're gonna work with them. You know what I mean? Like, you can't, like, it's different asking that young person to run a mile compared to this kid. And then it makes them feel bad because they're 15 minutes behind.
From my experience, the fat kids that wouldn't run took pride in that. Like, you can't tell me what to do. I'm walking, and it's going to take me 25 minutes to do this mile. I mean, I was right in the middle. Like, I would always try to run the mile at 8 minutes.
I'm surprised these PE teachers haven't just called Ben McCollum and see, what do you think is the best way to deal with this obesity problem we have in America?
You know what the best way is? In PE class, have the kids move. Have the kids run. Have them do things and not just, woo, a little parachute. Oh, let's move your hands up and now ripple your hands. And now we sit down. And then
Forgot
sit
about the
on it.
ripple.
And let's tell a story inside the parachute.
That was always so cool, though, because it's like dark in here. And there's
You
all
could
the
run
colors.
around in circles with the parachute.
And then you could
Make
like
it
try and
spin.
hold the hand of a girl next to you.
Moving.
Look at all these kids in this picture. They're color coordinated. It's beautiful. Kyle wants to know, has Ben McCollum become the new Chuck Norris? Maybe.
Yeah, I saw somebody in the comments ask the question, 1 Chuck Norris versus 100 gorillas, who wins?
Norris. Did he die?
No. Still alive.
God, the comment section's just completely out of control right now.
I just uncovered a photo.
Of? Oh, is that AI me with the parachute?
Yeah. I love how you have the purple tie.
Yeah, I've got the color-coordinated purple tie holding onto my purple part of the... And it's a very diverse group of kids I'm with. I didn't have that kind of diversity at Hayes Catholic Elementary School when I was a kid.
I can promise you it wasn't the case at Clorinda High School.
You didn't have diversity there either?
Hey, real quick, I want to give a shout-out to one of my old coaches and PE teachers. This is news in Des Moines yesterday. Mike Moreno, did you ever cover his Urbandale wrestling teams? He's the 3-time All-American at Iowa State. He had boys who wrestled at Iowa State. He announced his retirement yesterday. Won a bunch of state championships in wrestling. Big-time wrestling coach in our state. He retired yesterday. Love you, Coach.
Man, he doesn't look old enough to retire.
He's 56, I think, and he's just going to go be a grandpa. And I think he's still going to teach.
He's 56 and he's already a grandpa, and he still looks young. Man, he's got
dude,
a lot
that
of life
dude,
to live here.
We did parachute with Coach Marino. He was my PE teacher.
You're kidding me.
No.
This guy was your PE teacher in elementary school?
In high school.
You did the parachute in high school?
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
No way.
We did square dancing with Coach Marino. Oh, yeah, we did it all.
I thought the parachute thing stopped in 5th grade. I mean, it did for me.
He got us playing pickleball. We were huge. We were doing pickleball before any of these yuppies were now.
Yeah, Andre Agassi is a big pickleball player now.
Sure he is. I'm sure he is. All right. I think this was a good show. Was this a good show?
Hey, cheers.
Oh, cheers to the weekend. Yes.
Cheers to the freaking weekend. Let's raise our glass of Steeple Ridge bourbon.
Thank you, Matt. I have it on my rundown. I just looked past it. Steeple Ridge bourbon.
How could you forget about Steeple Ridge?
It was a tragic error. Tragic. My weekend is little WWE, some UFC, some coaching softball, some watching Hassel's hometown F1 race coming up on Sunday, and I got to get the yard mowed. The 𝗀𝗶𝗹𝗶𝗃 brothers, they got that yard. It's just growing like I can't keep up with it right now. So just a dad weekend for me, Hassel. What are you doing?
Let's see. I've got a haircut tomorrow at 12:30. I also have down here to brush Nori's teeth. That's it. That's all I have on the docket
on your
for the
to-do
weekend.
list is to brush the dog's teeth?
Uh-huh. That's all I've got on my to-do list.
My wife would appreciate that.
Yeah, it's very important to brush your dog's teeth.
It's actually a huge deal. Most people don't realize how much that impacts their health.
Yeah.
I hope she's watching. She'd be very proud of you. Matt, cheers to the freaking weekend.
I wish I could be going to UFC. I think we're going to go to the farmers market on Saturday, though. The Des Moines farmers market.
That sounds terrible.
I can't quit going to that. It's too big for me now. There's too many people.
It's going to be nice out this weekend. So
you know what they did? The problem is there's too many dogs now.
Yeah.
Because you have like the dogs that misbehave and try and
I'm
bite
surprised
the other
Van
dogs.
Woke will even go there if there's dogs.
I love dogs.
He might get,
Matt
he might
loves
get nipped
dogs.
again.
Oh, I forgot about that whole deal.
You got nipped too.
Yeah, but I didn't report the dog.
You thought about it.
No, I didn't.
Those burritos at the farmer's market are about as good as you can get. Those breakfast burritos. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
That fresh produce is tough to beat. It's good stuff. All right.
Burrito
Well,
is
have a...
considered produce to you?
No.
Well, go over to the produce section. Pick me up a burrito.
Great show, everybody. Thanks for all the fun comments.
Yeah, you know, I 𝗀𝗃 I'm sorry to pick on him again. But the thing that makes our show different from theirs is he will say interact with others on YouTube in the comment section. No. On our show, you can interact with us. Like we will actually, we are monitoring the comment section. You're not just interacting with others, you're interacting with the whole shebang. You see? We are men of the people. Unlike Murph and Andy, that just they want to push everybody off and oh yeah, you go over here, you talk amongst yourselves. You talk amongst yourselves and we'll do the show over here.
Love y'all. We'll be back on Monday on Iowa Everywhere.